The guys couldn't stop talking on the way to the cafeteria.
That was awesome. Did you see Michael's face, Jacob? It was so awful that it looked like he was going to burst into flames at any moment,
Sam shouted in excitement as he walked. Jacob simply smiled. Although he felt good too, he was not as excited as Sam. Since the guys at the rock climbing club played tricks on Sam to make him fall, it could have been a severe accident. If Sam had fallen on his own, Jacob wouldn't have had the opportunity to interfere with the excessive fees charged by the rock climbing club. He certainly knew that Kyle's presence was also the reason why Michael had kept quiet. Michael had to swallow his pride because even Kyle wasn't happy about the hidden fees being charged by the club. "Jacob, you are pretty awesome at rock climbing. Have you been practicing for years?" one of his classmates asked. "Practice? I've only ever seen it on TV," Jacob answered. However, he remembered that when he was little and stayed at his grandma's old home, he had rebelliously climbed onto the fences and trees thousands of times. They reached the cafeteria and continued talking all through lunch and finally headed to class. The news about the rock climbing competition where Jacob defeated Michael was all over the college. The students had been crazily forwarding the video of Jacob's climb and clips of his moves where he seemed to be moving like a pro as he made his way up the wall.
"A great reputation travels far,"
Sam sighed as he tried his hardest to think of a proper saying. It wasn't easy for him since his grades were the worst amongst them. Jacob had no time to deal with all the remarks and looks. He was focused on getting his tutoring material ready, and he wondered how Sophie did on her midterms. When the class got over after 2 hours, students rushed out of the classroom. "You are famous now, Jacob. Some of the pretty girls might want to become your girlfriend," one of the guys said, unable to hide the envy in his tone. As they spoke, a pretty girl who was well-dressed walked up to Jacob and handed him a note.
"This is my number in case you want to talk sometime. I think you are pretty cool. I'm in my freshman year, planning to major in business, by the way,"
she said. She walked away and let out a nervous sigh in front of her friends. She whispered to one of them, curiously,
"How did I do?"
"Whoa!"
Sam and the guys kicked up a fuss as they had never seen anything like this happen to Jacob before. Jacob coughed as he opened up the note. Then he rolled it up and threw it into the trash can in front of them. They didn't expect that. One of them shouted immediately, "What are you doing throwing it away? She's such a pretty girl. Plus, she approached you first." Jacob waved it off and said, in annoyance, all right, let's go already." If this would have happened a few months ago, Jacob would probably find it interesting and get worked up and excited. He would have opened up his phone and messaged her right away. However, as popular as he was now, Jacob found it annoying since so many students were interested in getting to know him. "Do you really have a girlfriend now?" One of his roommates caught up with him and asked. "You are getting more and more annoying. I'll just give all the notes to you to deal with in the future, all right?" Jacob looked at him with annoyance. "That's good. You do that." He kept on nodding. "I'll be your agent, and whoever wants to date you will have to date me first."
"But I do think you and Kathy would be a good match. You are from the same class and know each other pretty well already. We can tell that she cares a lot about you," Sam said to Jacob.
"How can you possibly guess Kathy's thoughts?" Jacob said. Kathy cared too much about everyone. She was also worried when Sam was climbing the wall. "Whoa, so our Jacob does like Kathy," one of the guys cried out dramatically. Jacob shook his head. He didn't want to argue with them. These guys did no good, yet they were pretty good at ruining things. If they hadn't gone and confessed Jacob's so-called love for Kathy without permission a while ago, the relationship between them wouldn't have been so awkward to begin with. In the past few days, their friendship had just begun to get a little better. Jacob didn't want Sam and the guys to mess it up again. Jacob had more respect than a fondness for Kathy. She was a charming girl, and her outstanding abilities made her stand out. She was a good person who cared about everyone and had a brilliant mind. All these things made her the perfect girl in all the boys' eyes. Sam changed the topic when he realized Jacob didn't want to talk about it anymore.
It's still early. Let's go play basketball, he yelled.
Although he failed at rock climbing, his obsession with sports had awakened. Jacob didn't tell Sam that he might have succeeded in rock climbing if the members of the club hadn't messed with the equipment. He knew it would only make Sam upset.
Come along, Jacob.
Sam dragged his arm. I can't play basketball. Jacob shook his head.
You only need to know how to pass, dribble, and shoot the ball.
Dissatisfied, Sam knocked hard on Jacob's shoulder with his fist.
All right, let's go.
Jacob agreed to go with them at last. He felt bad for not hanging out with them enough lately because of cultivation and tutoring. Sam's execution ability was really worth mentioning. On one hand, he immediately called up Ryan and some other guys and told them to bring a basketball from the dorm. On the other hand, he quickly booked a basketball court with Jacob and his other two roommates. The guys gathered at the court at the same time. The college made a rule for the basketball team after the incident last time. Thus, one could rarely see them practicing on the courts outside. In addition, since they were to play a match next week, they had to train even more intensively due to the loss of a few of their star players. They played 4 against 4 on the half court, Sam's dorm against Ryan's dorm. Basketball wasn't really Jacob's strong suit. Basically, he would pass the ball whenever he got it, and he would shoot it at the basket when he couldn't pass it, since he didn't know how to dribble properly. He would score if he was lucky. If not, the rebound would be secured by Sam with his excellent leaping ability.
Don't just pass it, Jacob. Dribble and move around,
Sam yelled after securing 6 rebounds. He was out of breath.
I don't know how to,
Jacob answered as he bounced the ball like an elementary school boy. Sam rolled his eyes, but he had to admit that Jacob had a pretty good sense of positioning when he didn't have the ball. Sam always had a chance to throw the ball at Jacob for him to shoot. However, Jacob's shots weren't that good. They were mostly air balls, and he got the backboard or the basket only a few times. No one on their team knew how to play properly other than Sam, and they were making him look weak in front of the other team. Soon, Ryan's team learned about Jacob's weak aiming skills. They focused more on defending Sam and the other guys and left Jacob alone. It took a lot of energy for Sam to grab rebounds, and soon he was out of breath. Sam was upset when he noticed that they had fallen behind, even though their average skill level was higher than Ryan's. Jacob held the ball and saw that the other team entirely blocked his 3 teammates. He took another shot, seeing that he had no chance to pass the ball, and sure enough, it was another air ball.
I told you I can't play basketball, and I'll only drag you guys down,
Jacob murmured when he saw Sam's mad expression. At that moment, some dark clouds spread above him, blocking the bright sunshine. Jacob looked up at the sky instantly. However, instead of the clouds, he saw Kyle standing behind him, tall as a hill. Sam and the other guys realized the change in the situation, and they hastily threw away the basketball and gathered around Jacob. They still remember the last time Jacob beat several players on the basketball team. Right now, the captain of the team was standing on the court with a stern expression. He wasn't supposed to be here. What could this possibly mean?
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.